So, let's say, someone wants to pay for their meal, like, as you said, $7. Do they get a choice on what or whatever you cook that day?
Yeah, well, again, we don't prepare the food. We have an outside catering company that makes literally thousands of meals a day. So we're trying to work with them to be able to have that choice. Because we do so many, it's not so much that we can't make the different or we can't get the different meals. It's back to a volunteer. How if a volunteer is picking up 10 or 15 stops to drop our meals to drop off at 15 different stops to make sure that the different meals get to different people is a bit of a challenge. But we're trying to work on that. We're trying to also do more fresh foods. Where people are people are very interested in fruits and salads and fresh food. So we're trying as much as we can to do that. And even at our dining sites where the seniors come to, we try to do some of that too, more plated food as opposed to kind of pre-made foods. This business, in most business, everything's about connections and who you know. Right. And so, we'll talk about volunteers a little bit later, but right. What you ask about what could people do to help Neighborly? Use your connections. If you know somebody, if you know Jeff Bezos and he's not flying to space, maybe he could think about sending somebody to a nonprofit taking care of seniors. Maybe we could buy a $7 meal or a little bit more. Maybe we could get a nicer meal for somebody than some of the things that sometimes we have to do just from a cost standpoint. Well, a typical individual who comes to our daycare centers is somebody who struggles to be at home, especially alone. So they might have some dementia. They might have some cognitive disorders. They might have had a head injury of some type. It could be a number of things that they're doing, but it's really a safe place that they could come. What separates us apart from other daycare centers is we're the only ones who provide transportation. So we will, if somebody wants that, we'll pick up the loved one. And when we provide transportation, even our drivers are background screened. They're trained in geriatrics and working with older adults. They know particular people. It's not like getting a different Uber driver every day. So they're gonna know very well their driver that they've had for years. The driver will bring them. They'll come in for a small light breakfast, something to eat in the morning. There'll be activities throughout the day, some cognitive activities just to keep their minds active. They might do fun things and play bingo. They might be watching movies. They might have different experts come in and help with training on technology and use of a cell phone or use of a computer or how to work your VCR. I sound like Joe Biden right there. So a lot of those other activities are what that we'll provide to the senior, and it keeps them challenged. And they're going to have lunch, and then they're going to have some physical fitness activities, and it might just be beach volleyball, or it might be something beach volleyball. I'm sorry, it might be chair volleyball. They might just be sitting, playing over a net, and hitting a ball back and forth. But it's really just trying to keep them active and trying to have them do something different. They get to know each other. They get to know the staff. They get to know one another. We have by the regulations of our funding source, we have a ratio of 6. We can only have 6 consumers to 1 staff. So we can't. Again, it's not like a setting where there's 100 people there and only a few people checking on them. And we typically have about we like to have around 30 people there because that's a good size that we could manage, and it's a good size that it's not overwhelming to the seniors themselves. Well, respite it's the same daycare model, but what it might be is to somebody who just needs maybe a day to themselves, a day to get their nails done or hair done, or maybe just a day without having to constantly attend to a loved one's needs. So we could, if somebody wanted to come to a day, you could contact us, come to the day. You could go on to neighborly.org. It's just our website, just neighborly.org. You could click on there. You could learn more about the daycare. You could find out about opportunities to volunteer there, but you could also find out more information about the daycare, how to reach out to us and contact us. We would have you come for a free day, and they could come and stay for an hour, 4 hours, 6 hours, a full day, whatever it might be, and just a place to warm up to it a little bit, get the idea of what the service is. They'll quickly enjoy it. A lot of the men will go sit outside on the patio at a couple of our locations, and especially in Largo and South St. Pete. Our other location in Palm Harbor, beautiful facilities, wonderful staff, very caring staff. And again, for a lot of folks who are caring for their loved ones, their parents often, this is it's a great help. And if, again, as people are working themselves and having to leave work a lot of times and run to take care of a family member or a parent, I think that respite model could be a great assistance to people.
If you think about it, the stay-at-home model should get more funding instead of just limited funding you guys get, because it's long run is good for the seniors. They are more happy at their home than any day in a facility. And then more importantly, their mental health and physical health is fantastic when they have support. It's when they don't have support, they feel more lonely. That's when their health decline, and that's when they get falls. That's when they get more dementia or memory loss, when they are lonely. So having a network where they can go to a center and meet friends or make friends. Studies have shown with patients with cognitive impairment, it's fantastic to keep their mental health in good shape and physical health in good shape. It's huge.
Absolutely.
And we were just talking before the show of the effect on the families. Let's say if someone, mom or dad, God forbid, has dementia or memory impairment, and they don't want them to go to nursing home and they want to be the primary caregiver, it's just, emotionally and physically, it exhausts them to day after day to, be there and not even able to get out of the house. And having a program like yours, if they only, let's say, do once a week, even they have to pay out of their own pocket $70, it will improve their mental and physical health if they can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they could do that. They could do it as little as once a week. I mean, they could do, there's anything, whatever works for people. Again, we're all about trying to keep people in their homes and trying to keep them in their communities too, just their neighborhoods. And, that's where the name Neighborly comes in. People always talk about neighbors helping neighbors. This is what that is. Whether you're volunteering to help somebody get a meal, or whether you volunteer to shovel somebody's driveway in the winter, not down here. But whatever it might be, I think that's where the community comes together as a whole. And that's what Neighborly only has 100 employees, but Neighborly has 1,000 volunteers. And so we really are much more a part of everybody's community. And so with 10 locations, and that's overall between daycare and dining sites. Yep.
That gets you big access.